Welcome back to the One with Trouble to Experience radio show live here on Philly Hot Radio on the One with Trouble 2 Facebook page, also Instagram Live, LeVon1021. I'm the guest is here is a woman that I've known for many years. She's doing outstanding work in the community in Philadelphia, outside Philadelphia. She has her own company called tutoring.com. So she's an advocate for youth, educator as well, a mom and wife as well. So let's welcome Miss Kelley Everett. So how are you?
Oh, thank you, Brother LeVon. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. How are you today?
I'm doing good. This morning it was a little crazy trying to get in here. They changed the code up. So
No.
Yeah, then I forgot the code for this door. I needed the picture. I was like, oh my goodness. But God's still good.
God is always
Yeah, so
good.
I think we met, 5 years ago?
But it was about that time.
It was that time at Grass.
It was at Grass.
For that career day fair.
For career day fair.
Right, I think that's the last time we saw each other, right?
That was the last time we saw each other in person.
You talked about time to time, but you was always busy. You was always doing something. I was trying to get you involved. You was always had tutoring and something going on.
It's a hectic schedule, and our schedules will always conflict.
Right,
The good thing is I like from that meeting we always stay connected.
Yeah, and then all of us has grown professionally.
All of us have grown.
We didn't stay stagnant because we had changed the times.
Absolutely.
We had to become more transparent and work with folks on things that was going on in the community that they were not addressing. Like mental health, for example. We do mental health, we do mental health workshops now. So we just focus on we always focus about life skills, but we didn't talk about mental health or social justice.
Right.
But now
it's prevalent.
you gotta talk about it because you gotta talk about that. So so I want to ask you how you feel about what's been going on in our country, about the election coming up. I have my thoughts about the election. There's a lot going on, and then also with Breonna Taylor, she have a daughter here. With that situation, I don't know. You saw the interview with her boyfriend that was on. I didn't see y'all because
I saw clips of it. I didn't.
Right. So I want to know, as a mom, how you feel about what's going on? It's a lot.
Well, that's a heavy hitter question, which requires a heavy hitter answer.
Yes.
I'll start from a mother perspective. For Breonna Taylor. Of course, we know that justice has not been served, and as an African American woman in this country, as a business leader, I am going to do everything that I can within my dominion, at least to help raise awareness or fight for her justice.
Right.
It broke my heart. It broke my heart. Really, because she was an essential worker. She is doing what so many quote unquote Americans are doing right now during this global pandemic. So she not only was an essential worker, she was a woman that was completely innocent, that's life was taken in her home.
Right.
Your home is your safe place, whether it's your apartment, your townhouse, your ranch style, whatever it is. She was in her home and she was innocent. And it's a clear-cut case, but because of the systemic racism, the injustice that is prevalent throughout the state, especially in the South, it's going to be a fight. But I support her family and those who have rallied around them that are continuing just to fight, to speak, to advocate. And it's just going to take all of us.
Yes.
I think the next question that you said in terms of what's going on in our country, it's one thing to have challenges in our personal life, but to also have the challenges in our personal life and professional life compounded by what's going on across the country. It's it's unreal.
Yes.
It's unreal, but it's very real because it's always been here. And I think that as African Americans, we are more woke. We are more conscious. We are more spiritually elevated, culturally elevated than we've ever been. I come from a very culturally rigorous family. Growing up, African culture, Black awareness, those things were like second nature to me.
Right.
And to kind of see it now rise within our people, it's long overdue, and so much work has to still be done.
That's right.
My biggest hope, and I believe in the God of hope, is that this will hopefully, these tragedies, this will unify us. You know, the bigger picture is to unify us as a country because of election period. And I think that was your next question. But we have to be unified as a people to prevent these things from continuing to happen to our people. So, you know, even with George Floyd, and I try to, you know, even with myself, things that I wear, whether they're t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, you know, I'm trying to raise a message. So that's just kind of been my MO for a while. But, you know, as a black woman, there's a part of me that aches inside. I ache as a mother. I ache as a wife. I ache, you know, I have a son as well. I have a husband as well. I have brothers. I have brother friends. I have cousins. I have sisters. You know, and I think that we finally are at a place as a people that it's no more, oh, I'm not going to worry about that. No, you need to worry about that because Brianna, she might not have been my sister by blood, but she's my sister by race. So therefore, I care. I have to care. It's my duty. So that is one of the things that, if I could say, is anything positive to come out of these tragedies, is that we're starting to unify as a people. Right. And I'm hopeful that will continue.
Yes, especially after the election.
Especially after the election. So the election, you know, all I know is...
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And I'm going to go on record saying this. We have to get Donald Trump out of office. We cannot do 4 more years. But the reality of him possibly doing 4 more years is very real.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
So I'm just encouraging everybody that I know that is registered and eligible, please vote. I turn off the noise for people that want to go through the, I don't vote because. No, I don't have time to hear. Because of that little line, I don't vote because, or I'm not voting, you could cause the election to go a different way.
True.
So I'm just encouraging everybody, please get out to vote. Help those who need to get there, make sure people's ballots have been mailed, you know, whatever it is that we have to do, you know, especially in the city of Philadelphia and surrounding areas, make sure that you vote. I'm not so fearful or nervous about the pending elections. What I'm concerned about is after the election. Because
the day after.
The day after, because, you know.
Because I was advocating for my job, because our job, I think all the jobs now are giving us off election day. And I told them we needed number 4 because the day after is going to be crazy. I don't know whoever wins is going to find out. I don't know what's going to happen. So because I don't know the day after Trump got elected, it was raining, it was cold, it was like everybody was sad. It was like not kids were into it. It was like I remember that.
Yeah, so I remember that. I remember the reaction from the children. Really kind of told it all.
And then the CNN coverage was so sensational. Van Jones said about his kids, he was scared of what would look like the next morning. I was like, wow. So
wow. Yeah. Well, you know what concerns me is the fact that Donald Trump has not said verbally or consented whether or not he's going to participate in a peaceful transition, and that to me is extremely alarming. Whether you know, however the election goes. So, you know, my concern is, of course, leading up to it, making sure, especially as African Americans, we exercise that right to vote. But what's going to happen after, based on the outcome. Right.
So I want to give you your girls on here, Jennifer Smith. Tanya Boss Stick is here, and then Lady Wee is here too. So, so we wanted to have this conversation because it's real.
Ladies.
Yeah.
How you doing, ladies?
Yeah. So I want to ask you a question. This question: who is Kelley Everett?
Who is Kelley Everett? Wow. Kelley Everett is a combination of a couple different women all balled up in one. You know, I have different roles in my life. Okay. And as in these different roles, I'm still the same woman. Right. But my actions and my movements are a little different. So the first thing that I am is wife and mom and wife. Wonderful husband. We're about to come up to 18 years. My college sweetheart. Yes. The black love.
We got something, man. We got something.
We have to. And especially during this time, you know, it's tough. You know, this pandemic is tough on everybody, but it does have a weight on marriages as well. Kelley Everett is a mom. mom of a wonderful 13-year-old and 11-year-old. But Kelley Everett is also an edupreneur. And an edupreneur is an educator and entrepreneur all balled into one. I am the classic example of the out-of-the-box school teacher that they just cannot keep in the public school. You know, though I'm an avid business owner, business leader in Greater Philadelphia, I started out in the trenches, in the classroom. I was a third grade teacher. I moved from third grade teaching to high school. I taught high school for many years. I taught middle school for many years. Then I bounced back to high school. I've done career coaching, career counseling, or I was a career service advisor for a period of time. I'm also an adjunct professor. I work for several area colleges. So I've got all these different roles and things that I play. But at the end of the day, I'm also a woman of God. So
Amen.
Keeping God first.
Yes.
Keeping God first. Christ came into my life 2012. I had made and it's funny because you could always know Christ and you could always know God, but until you form that relationship,
right,
you
exactly.
know, my life just began to transform big time once that journey happened. So that's Kelley Everett, all wrapped up in one.
Right, cause I remember you first time I met you. You spoke to students. You the first person that said that as entrepreneur. You the first person that said that. I was like, what? Like,
what? I know.
Yeah, cause you the first person that said that. You know, and that said that term. I was like, so you spread further education. So so your baby is asfortutoring.com.
That's the baby.
Right. So how did you come up with that concept, and now what made you start that?
So, Ask for Tutoring has a really unique story. I'm so proud of my other baby. We just celebrated 16 years. So, sweet, thank you.
Wow.
And that's another thing, like, you know, as African American people, especially women, we have to get out of this mindset of competition. It's not about competition. It's all about collaboration and uplifting one another and supporting one another. So, Ask for Tutoring came to me in about 2004. I was pregnant with my first child.
Okay.
That child was stillborn, so I didn't.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I didn't have her. But her life and legacy was so outstanding because her just me carrying her led me to the belief of becoming an edupreneur. I was tired of teaching. I wasn't even at my 10-year mark there, but I was getting tired. The classroom was wearing me out. So,
I'm sorry, why the class was wearing you out?
Classroom
was the system? What the student? Was the system?
It was the system.
Oh, okay.
And I'm glad you said that. And asked that in the middle of me saying that because it's never really the children.
Right.
Teacher burnout really comes from the bureaucracy and the system that you have to teach in. Yes, children will wear you out, but there's a difference between teachers and there's a difference between educators. Educators go above and beyond. It's almost that it's their ministry. So we go into it as educators knowing that, you know, our children eventually are going to drive us crazy, you know, but that's what we're there for. They're children. They're supposed to do that. At the time, I was working in a charter school that did a lot of nepotism, which I won't name. It's in the city of Philadelphia, and
So what is that? Nepotism. What is that?
Nepotism is when you're you really look out for your family and you do some unethical things to, you know, and practices that you do aren't always fair. So I was in a really tough charter school situation, and I knew it, and it was coming to a head. So I didn't want to go back to school. I was trying to figure out, okay, Lord, you know, what can I do? What can I do? And honestly, I had my composition book, and I went to work. I went to work with zero money, a milk crate of teachers' materials, and I originally just began contracting myself with people to do tutoring. Now, at the time, it was just me. It started out as an idea for me. I had no idea that it was going to flourish through the years and become actually a sustainable company. Right. But it just shows you the power of God.
Amen.
So Ask for Tutoring, we started with just a few clients that I was personally tutoring, and then within 3 years, the clients really, like, word of mouth just got around, and people and friends were referring to others, and then I was getting contacts and clients for subjects that I didn't teach. So because I didn't teach those subjects, i.e. higher level math, i.e. science, I needed to start building a team. So literally like 3 years later, the team just started growing. I began to hire my first coach, and I always highlight him everywhere I go because the very first tutor that I hired is still with us today.
Wow.
So it's just been really a tremendous blessing. So the concept of Ask for Tutoring simply is academic success for K through 12 learners and beyond. So ASK, the word is actually an acronym. Our mindset is always to help children and adults. We believe in educating the whole family using a holistic approach to teaching, tutoring, learning, and mentoring. So that's what Ask for Tutoring, or sometimes called AFT, is.
Right. So we started hiring people. So how did you get grants for it, or did you funding? How did you?
Yeah. So that's a great question. The very first grant that I received came from Support Community Outreach Programs. It stands for SCOP. SCOP is a huge reimbursable grant for the city of Philadelphia. We were grant recipients for about 8 or 9 years. The thing about that grant, though, program is you have to already have a sustainable budget. So when I first started with SCOP, I didn't have a budget. I was new at all of this. Mind you, I was a teacher. I didn't major in business. So a lot of things I had to learn along the way. But what SCOP provided our company with was an opportunity to reimburse for current expenses that we were doing.
Right.
So as far as hiring is concerned, I just went to my network. I was already a teacher. I reached out to a lot of colleagues to see if they wanted to partner with me. And then at the time, I used to sell body butters. I was doing aromatherapy. So I remember one of my team members from that business, it was actually like her son's friend that she referred her son's friend to us, and that ended up being our first tutor. His name was Coach Stephen Reynolds, and he's still with us today. So again, the power of original business networking always has been word of mouth. And when you do good work and you have good character, people will refer you. And that's kind of how Ask for Tutoring began to build the team.
Wow, that's amazing. I think y'all was in Philly and then y'all expanded to outside of Philly.
Outside of Philly.
So what's the day-to-day like Ask for Tutoring? Do the kids come in at the school, but now it's virtual now? So how do the kids get involved with that?
That's a great question. So we did originally start in Philly. So what a lot of people don't know, Ask for Tutoring really began in my apartment, a couple blocks from here in Winfield.
Wow.
I never, my husband and I, early in our marriage, it was an idea. It was an idea for me. So we didn't have money to invest in overhead. My credit wasn't the best. I couldn't apply for it alone. So we really were the first in Philly to kind of coin and brand the term mobile tutoring. Once we started putting that out there, we noticed everybody else were having pop-up tutoring services, and everybody wanted to be a mobile tutor. So mobile tutoring basically allowed us to contract our coaches or tutors to meet clients in various areas. So we utilize almost, not every library, but we identified specific ones throughout certain sections of the city that were suitable for learning, were clean environments, and we rocked with that. We utilized Starbucks cafes. We made partnerships with local schools. I also began to invest in space. At one point, we were at the Limfest Center doing a wonderful Saturday program. This was early AFT days, around 2010. We did that for a couple years at the Limfest Center when it first opened up, and then we moved a lot of our base operations to Temple University Center City campus, which we started our Youth Angel Scholars program. So Saturdays and weeknights were really the basis of tutoring for a long time. In 2015, we decided to lease our first space, which is located in Collindale, Pennsylvania. And then in 2016, we formed a partnership in Delaware. So we had a nice team down there as well.
Wow.
Still using the mobile concept, but at least our space in Collindale allowed children and families to come to us. So what does a typical day for AFT look like today in this environment?
Right.
So honestly, we are open Monday through Thursday and Saturdays. We're just about to finish up our Saturday run for tutoring. Just like many small businesses, of course, we were hit by COVID too. God's good grace has kept us standing, and I believe because, learning is essential. So when Governor Tom Wolf reopened businesses in June, we had developed our own reopening phase. So we had like an Ask for Tutoring red, an Ask for Tutoring yellow, and an Ask for Tutoring green. We just started allowing children back into our facility at the beginning of September.
Okay.
So a typical day for me right now in 2020 is Monday through Thursday. We are open from about 8 to 5. During the morning, we have what's called a cyber learning lab. So essentially, we have anywhere between 10 to 12 students that come and do their virtual school with us.
Right.
So it's an awesome program. We kind of in the beginning just left it available for our current members, but now we are starting to accept students from the public. So they can come and learn, and they have a part-time or full-time schedule. So my day-to-day operations really deals with managing that. During the afternoon hours, in afternoon into evening, there's a variety of virtual tutoring sessions going on, actually across the country. So one thing I'm very proud of, we have clients in Atlanta, we have clients in New Jersey, we have clients in New York, we have clients all over Philadelphia, and of course Southeast Delco. So that variety is kind of mixed up throughout weekday sessions. And, I manage part of the day from my office, and I manage part of the day from my home. And again, that's kind of what it looks like now. Every day, everyone's wearing masks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's AFT. And then on Saturdays, we're open now from about 10:30 till to 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how can a kid and a parent get involved with AFT? And also one question I want to ask you is y'all hiring right now? So I love it.
No. We are. So one, let's talk about the parent. Getting involved in Ask for Tutoring is so easy. We always recommend that you become a member of our network. Our program is exclusive, and I'm not ashamed to say that. We are one of the most affordable. No, not the most. I'm going to say we are the most affordable tutoring, high quality, results driven companies that you're going to find in the city. We are Black owned, we are female business owned, female owned, and our children come to our program and they succeed. Does it happen overnight? It varies depending on each child. So the first step is simply to contact us. You can contact us on our website, which is askfortutoring.com, and that's the number 4, and the word ask, number 4, tutoring.com. You can contact us. We'll contact you right back, or either online or by phone, and we'll get you set up with an initial consultation. All registration is done online. It's a simple 5-minute form that you can fill out from your smartphone or tablet. And for the most part, a consultation, we call it kind of like a pre-interview. We want to talk to you. We want to get to the heart of what's going on, and most of all, what goals you want to see flourish for your child. So that's the easiest way. And if you can't find us through our website, you can DM us on Instagram, you can hit us up on Facebook, you can even call the office at 610-522-8000. It's very, very simple. So membership, that's the beauty. Membership allows you to get a guaranteed space in any of our upcoming semesters. We now are currently, this is our first time for tutoring that we've ever had a waiting list. And the waiting list is moving fast, but this is the first time due to COVID and scheduling. We got an overwhelming amount of students that are coming in because of the virtual learning,
Right.
So it's kind of the sign of the time. So that we don't overwhelm our tutors or coaches.
Yeah.
We kind of give at least a week's gap time between the time that you apply to the time that your child actually starts. So that's really it. So membership will give you unlimited benefits, free conferencing, in addition to it guarantees you a space. So we never will turn a client away once you are a member. Let's say you sign up your child, Levon, and you registered them, you got our membership, which is only a one-time fee of $45. It's not anything renewable or annual. One-time fee, $45. That gives you a free session, unlimited conferencing, meaning like you can talk to your tutors or us if you have a problem with school or don't know how to approach a situation without any additional charges, but most of all, that guaranteed spacing, you sign your child up, but you're not ready to start now. You just want to reserve time until January. We're still going to guarantee that come back in January, we're going to be able to service your family. And the last thing I like is the access to affiliate programs. We have several exclusive partnerships that are very beneficial to our families. One of them is with a company called Advocacy Unlimited, and they specialize in advocacy for students with IEPs. So students who are mentally gifted, students who may have a learning disability, parents that don't understand IEP language, students who may need compensatory education. All of that falls under the special education genre. So we have a direct partnership with this agency that if you come to us with these issues, you're going to pay substantially less than what the public will pay for that service and tutoring combined. So that's just one example. We work well with BET, bringing everybody together. Richard Washington. We've just got partnerships on top of partnerships on top of partnerships, and I'm really grateful for how our parents come in and they enjoy what they can take advantage of.
All right, so how would someone that's interested in working with you get involved with that? Want to work at a tutor?
So yes, we are hiring. I'm always looking for tutors. But our tutors, let me tell you, I'll be honest, our tutors are some of the best in the area. I'm very, very selective. So for starters, we do prefer that our tutors at least have a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
You have to demonstrate and it's a demonstration process. You have to demonstrate not only proficiency to be able to tutor in person, but now we have a virtual test that you take. But we look for experience working with children and having a certain level of expertise in a certain subject. It's very helpful when someone has that experience, but at the same time, I not only have certified teachers, we have professionals that are extremely gifted. I mean, I have engineers, I have retired librarians, I have a gentleman who's a retired chemist, I have certified teachers, we have people who are counselors. So it really, we look for passion, we look for reliability, we look for commitment, we look for honesty. It is an independent contractor opportunity that most of our tutors participate in. So, we do require the same clearances that the school districts require as well. So, yes, if anyone is interested and think they qualify as an academic success coach or can contribute to the team, you just need to send us your resume and we will take it from there.
Right, and one of your mentees, you probably know her, Naisha.
What's her last name?
Griffin.
I do know her. She's a twin?
Yes.
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 I know the twin.
She's watching. She had a question for you.
Yes. Hi, twin.
She wanted to know, since y'all doing K through 12, are y'all planning maybe down the line to expand to college tutoring?
We do college tutoring now.
Oh.
That's part of our Beyond concept. So Ask for Tutoring, again, focuses on K through 12 youth and adults. So not only do we work with college students, we work with adults. Our oldest client to date has been a 65-year-old grandma who decided to go back to school and finish a degree that she had to stop at Temple because she had a family.
Right.
So we service a variety of students. We also handle, there's not too many subjects we don't do. I can't even think of them. We do everything from calculus to finite math, geometry. We prep for many standardized tests. We have nurses that come. We do preparation for the TEAS test. We support teachers who are trying to pass their praxis or PAPA. We support even those who may be going into the military and interested in taking the ASVAB. So yes, to that, my dear sister twin, we work with college students, and I hire college students as well. A lot of college students have worked with us part-time, not necessarily in a tutoring capacity, but as assistants. So,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'm very, very passionate about working with college students, especially college students who are hungry for success and connections. And I love college men and women.
Right, wonderful. Wow, that's great wealth of knowledge. So that Naisha got that, because
thanks for following, sweetheart.
Yeah, so
I love her and her sister.
Yes, I worked with them since 2 years for 2 years now.
Outstanding.
I actually met one of them at a conference.
Okay.
And Stepping Stone Scholars College, I did a workshop.
So we're Stepping Stone Scholars.
Yeah,
They're
doing it at Philly University. I think Philly University. No,
Philadelphia University.
Sciences. I think it's sciences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Philadelphia University of Sciences.
Yes.
Yeah. University of Sciences.
Right. Yeah. So I met her sister doing a workshop, and I did a workshop about transitioning from college for those who don't want to go to college. Mm-hmm. And she was first rolled down, and then she got her. Then I didn't know she was a trend. Mm-hmm. Then at that workshop, she bought her trim. Like, you need the trim? Mm-hmm. So they've been really accessible with this. I earned them. They were honorees last year. Mm-hmm. They're sophomores in college now. So I'm on them. They should get that 4.0. So,
yes,
so because college now you can do home now. It's not like you can. But you gotta make sure you focus. Some of the stress is at home too. So my question for you is, what's next for you? What's next for you? Like,
what's next is to just really continue building the brand. Going from a traditional face-to-face and mobile model, going from that to now, really pushing virtual tutoring has been a transition for our company.
Right.
So I mentioned the mobility. We no longer do that. The age of COVID does not allow me to send my tutors anywhere. We have not done home visits probably for over a decade, so we don't do that. Coming into our facility right now during the age of COVID, it has required a whole new look at how we manage, how we clean, how we schedule. So I'm very focused on the company and making sure, not from a fiscal standpoint, but making sure that we remain sustainable and accessible to families. Because during this time, it's really tough on families. It really is. And my concern as an educator is that if we don't really get into like each one teach one, there's going to be a generation of children that are going to be very behind the achievement gap. So right now, that's my focus, making sure that the company is available to all families, no matter what you need, whether it's virtual, whether it's face-to-face, however we're going to do it, let's get it done, because learning is essential.
Right, and so like for me, I work at Access Center right now in South Philly. We do a virtual. Kids come in from K to 6th grade, different levels, different abilities on like they go to do the math, the readings, like they on Zoom or Hangout,
Right.
So how y'all? I don't know what is the plan. Have y'all thought about being part of an Access Centers? And come in there and do some work with the kids one-on-one, because there's so much we can't do as site directors, group leaders, but someone can come in maybe online, provide for the kids. Hey, I'm doing math, but teacher, they're doing this concept, especially second graders.
So I need a little bit more help.
Yeah. Plus then like the hand might go, hotspot might go off, and then like they kind of stuck for a minute.
Right.
So have y'all thought about maybe in plans, maybe go to Access Centers and provide services?
Yes, absolutely. So we pride ourselves on partnerships. We always have done partnerships. Prior to COVID, there has been a 50% loss of services with extra tutoring as a result of COVID. Right. Because we can't operate in the same way. As a company, I can't send my tutors or my staff to certain places. So we right now, like I was saying earlier, had to create our own phase of reopening. I'm not looking into any strategic partnerships until 2021. Right. So I'll put that out there. The answer at large is yes. At large, yes. But right now, for anybody listening, or if you have some ideas, I would love to have conversations now for strategic planning for 2021. Honestly, with a lot of small businesses, we had to do so much changing to get us operational right now, and then we have to look at doing it different to produce the same results. Right. So I've just spent quite a bit of time, and I'm going to finish out the year just focusing on that, making sure that we're available for our families, and making sure our policies and procedures remain safe, to keep our family safe, and most of all, ourselves safe. But the overall answer definitely is yes.
Yeah, because I think that because school's going back to Philly on the 30th, K in 7th grade, and it's hard for a kindergarten and access center to learn instead of being teacher right for it, you know. So that's why I asked the question, because I think y'all be great for access center, you know, in terms of like maybe one person. Then we do the check-in, all that temperature check, all that, man, math. I think, just to help the kids out, you know what I mean? Way that outside of time, when they have some downtime, they can work with one-on-one, because the parents are working, and like they got to pick up the child, and then they go do this, and so there's a lot for the parents.
So what you just described, and I've been following the access centers. It's very similar to what we're doing in Collingdale with our cyber learning lab.
Oh yeah.
That is the exact model. We realize that, there is a gap between there's a missing connection. One, overall, from not having that face-to-face instruction.
Absolutely.
But it's also a connection when you have these parents that have responsibilities and have to leave the house to go to work, or they have to work virtually themselves. There's a lot of families right now that have mom and dad working in the basement, or mom and dad working in the dining room, and you've got the kids, everybody's home. And it's tough. It's really tough. So we're using the same model that a lot of access centers are using now, particularly for Southeast Delco. And that's why, I highlight Collingdale, because it's a large African American and African population. But in Southeast Delaware County, the African American community does not have the same resources that the city of Philadelphia does.
Right.
So we're very passionate about that area as well as Philadelphia.
Right.
But that partnership is definitely a possibility.
Yeah, can you say Collingdale? Because you probably know the mayor.
Yes.
Felicia.
Mayor Felicia.
Yes. That name.
The first African American.
Yes, that's a great person.
Yes.
You say Collingdale. Wait, that name sounds familiar. That mayor. So.
Yeah.
So, do you have any final words for us to inspire us, especially the kids, the parents as well, in terms of this virtual learning? Because we about to get into November soon, and it's there's ups and downs, and some good days, some bad days, and what advice would you give to them?
So, for one, the biggest thing is that I try to remind families is that it's okay. It's going to be okay, and it is okay. Keep pushing to elevate yourself and the children. It's like creating a wave of encouragement. It's tough on families and parents that have to work jobs virtually, and it is equally tough when we're trying to educate the children.
Yes.
The second piece of advice that I have is that everybody in the family plays a part in this. For too long, or I'll say for a long time, we were kind of hands off of what your niece or what your goddaughter or what your nephew was doing in school. Anybody who has free time, see what you can do to help. See what you can help a family that has children. See what you can do to help that little cousin, whether it's sitting with them, whether it's providing lunch. A big thing that's big for a lot of families is the expense of food. Some schools are providing food, but some parents can't get to the food to get from the school. So, it's like this whole thing of really understanding that virtual school really is school. And you have to find a way to treat it as best as you can, like it, with providing that supplemental support in between. So, Grandma, let me tell you something. And I said this yesterday on my Instagram. My mother has been such an inspiration to me.
Right.
My mother is, she has been very instrumental in making sure that my nephew and both of my nephews don't miss a beat with their education. She's transformed a room in the house for a little learning space for both of them. And with that being said, the grandparents are really the unsung heroes and sheroes in this pandemic. It's so many grandparents who have stepped in to provide the care, to create the space, to give money to buy computers if the school didn't provide the right materials. And I'm hearing all these things. It's the grandparents. I have a huge population of grandparents that are my
Amen.
clients,
Wow.
because they come and call to get the support for their children or grandchildren. So I just want everybody just to work together and understand that if we give each other grace, we can also unify each other to work together to make this work for the children. Because at the end of the day, if we don't do these things, our children, it's going to be an achievement gap.
Right.
With this generation, it's going to do that. So I just love the opportunity to share and talk.
Yeah,
thank you so much for inviting me today.
Thank you so much for just your wisdom, your intellect, your story.
Thank you.
Just your perspective and just knowledge on about tutoring, how people can get involved, and your journey to lead to that. Because sometimes you said you just roll it out. You had no business plan.
Yeah.
That's how my business started too. Patty Mary had no business plan. We just did a workshop and impact.
Because it's our gifts. It's
right. It's something different, you know.
It's our gifts,
right?
And a lot of times when you operate in your purpose and operate in your gifts, everything doesn't come together traditionally.
Right. It's outside the box. It's different.
It's outside the box.
It's like
it's different. But you know, this is our way of doing our ministry. And you know, I think that once you just define and determine what your purpose is, you can just run with it. And again, the concept edupreneur, I've always loved business. But my passion and my heart has always been in teaching. So
right.
that combined together has allowed me to just work in purpose.
Wow. Again, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on my show.
I
know we're not over it, but the concept was so good. I wanted people to tune in and want to hear how to get involved or refer someone to your services. I think your service is outstanding. It's about 16 years now? 16 years, you know, and going, you know, and keep going, patting the youth, the parents, the teachers, the coaches, because all the counselors as well, because this is something that we need right now, especially in this COVID era, just COVID era, and trying to figure out how to navigate that every single day, because we don't know what the other side will look like after this. So we gotta make sure we are ahead of the game before we actually don't be part of the trap. So again, go to askfortutoring.com for more information about Kelley's purpose and her journey. Get involved with that. You know, anyone that needs tutoring or needs consultation or have a question about it, they're willing to answer right back to you and just support what she's doing. And thank you for those who've been watching. LaVon Nichols, Lady Bree, I think I'm saying people on here, but thank you for y'all's support and just knowing that we hit about testimony about having those transformational moments to help shape our communities for the better. And I just want everyone to just enjoy the rest of the Saturday. Be blessed, be thankful, be grateful for what God's done for you and your life. You know, and just be mindful of what you're doing and wear your mask and just be safe and practice social distancing. So until then, we'll see you about 2 weeks. I pray that everyone stay safe and be blessed.
Amen.